Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy, man. For today's video, we are going to be playing a game of Trade or Keep, NBA Offseason Edition. So we got an article by Bleacher Report, every NBA team's best offseason trade chip. Basically, we're going to go through each team here. I'm going to say if the team should keep said player or actually look to trade them away. If you guys want to play, feel free to, tag along, man, in the comment section below. Let's get it. So the first team we have is the Atlanta Hawks with John Collins. Straight up, I think they should trade John Collins away, man. Like, John Collins is cool and everything. I think he definitely has a role here in the NBA, no doubt about that. But I don't really like him next to Trae Young. And I just think it's time to try something different. I think it would be best not only for the Hawks organization, but also John Collins, just to try something new, man. Plus, I really like guys like DeAndre Hunter that I think could really flourish at that power forward role. And, whoever they draft or whatnot, too, man. But yet, trade John Collins away. You get something good back for him, too, probably. Next up, we got Marcus Smart. Keep this, man. 1 trillion%. Like, this video is being made before Game 7. But regardless, this man, literally, look at his hair, guys. This man is literally bleeding green from his skull, okay? If that's not Boston Celtics, what other green teams are there out there? Probably other teams with green jerseys I'm not thinking of, but T-Wolves? It's like throwback jerseys, right? They got some green jerseys. But regardless, man, this dude bleeds Boston Celtic green. Been playing that point guard role and everything like that, has been flourishing in it, man, especially when you look at the history of, Isaiah Thomas and Kemba Walker and Kyrie Irving, like Marcus Smart, like, y'all should just be playing him at point guard this entire time. And no, Isaiah Thomas was cool for that season. Next up, we got Cam Thomas for the Brooklyn Nets. I think I would keep Cam Thomas. And that's just because, I think with the Brooklyn Nets, they obviously don't have like too many trade assets, but Cam Thomas, I really think, has a nice solid future in the NBA. And, there's no guarantees that Kyrie's coming back. There's no guarantees that Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons is going to work out. But I do think Cam Thomas is a certified bucket in the future, and I think there's something to be said about that. Now, if you can trade him and get something really good back, sure, maybe you have that conversation, but I would not just give it up for some like basic role player that's going to help out next season. Like, the asking price would be high. Next up, we got the number 13 pick for the Charlotte Hornets. I think this would be in the case, if they could go out there and maybe package the pick with, Terry Rozier or Kelly Oubre, someone along those lines, and bring in that veteran center. I think that might be a really solid move. I would actually maybe hit up the Atlanta Hawks for Clint Capella because they got a Okongwu, obviously, or maybe you can go for a Okongwu too and let him break out in Charlotte. I think there's a lot of different routes with that. At this point, they would probably draft a guy like a Mark Williams at that center position. So get a guy that's maybe a few years down the road already could be beneficial. Next up, we got the Chicago Bulls with Patrick Williams. Oh, did I say if I would trade or keep it? I would say I would probably overall trade it. I would trade it. Patrick Williams keeping. Y'all Bulls fans waited all season for this man, and I know y'all were hyped about him too. And then when he came back, he was looking really good, especially I think like whatever their last game was, he had like 20 points or something like that. Looked phenomenal out there. Once again, we don't know what's going on with Zach LaVine, but we do know that Patrick Williams, I think, is a future borderline all-star at least in the NBA, man. I would keep that man on the squad. He can play that 4 spot, no problem. Next up, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers with the number 14th pick. I think I would actually keep this. I would target a small forward. Now, with that being said, if the guys that aren't available there just aren't there, then, you might be able to package the number 14 with a sign trade with Colin Sexton. I don't know if you can attach picks to sign trades or not, but regardless, yeah, I think that would probably be a pretty solid move to do and just bring in a veteran small forward that chooses to do that. But I would keep it initially at first unless the offer is blown away. Dorian Finney-Smith for the Dallas Mavericks. Keep him. It's already been reported by the Dallas Mavericks they're not looking to bring in all-stars this offseason for whatever reason. I don't know why. Like, I don't have the answer to that question. But Dorian Finney-Smith has a really good contract. He plays his role nicely, and he's a perfect, guy to have next to Luka Doncic, especially when we're not looking to give him all-stars, man. So keep Dorian Finney-Smith. Fantastic player. Would not get rid of him at all. We got Bones Hyland for the Denver Nuggets. This one's iffy, because obviously, Jamal Murray's going to be back, but there's no guarantees Jamal returns to form. I think Bones Hyland has such a bright future in the NBA. I think I would more so maybe look to trade like Monte Morris, have Bones as the backup point guard for the squad. But this one's difficult. There's a lot of what-if factors with the Denver Nuggets, man, but I think I'm leaning towards my gut feeling saying keep Bones Hyland. Like, I would keep him. We got Jerami Grant for the Detroit Pistons. Trade Jerami Grant, if not by the offseason, at least by the NBA trade deadline. A big part of it, too, is based off of who the Pistons draft. But I just, have 1 year left on that contract. It's going to be very attractive to contending teams out there in a 1 year, $20 million for a near all-star and Jerami Grant. Like, you definitely have to cash in on that. I mean, obviously the role has to be right and everything like that, but yeah, man, I think I would trade Jerami Grant. No disrespect to him, just I think it's time. Like, he's served his purpose here in Detroit, and we love him for it. We got Jonathan Kuminga, Golden State Warriors. Keep him. Keep him. I don't know how long the Warriors' current championship window is open. It feels like it's going to be like the San Antonio Spurs, where we keep saying this is the last year, and then they come back and get to the finals again. But Jonathan Kuminga, man, like, he is such a good insurance policy for when the window does close, or at least to maybe even extend it. Maybe Draymond Green starts getting older, and you have a guy like Jonathan Kuminga whose athleticism is off the charts, but also learning in this system. That's so valuable. You keep Jonathan Kuminga no matter what, and I would probably, maybe, like James Wiseman, I could see maybe something there, but him you definitely keep. We got Christian Wood for the Houston Rockets. I think you probably trade him away, especially because the Rockets have, the second or third pick in the draft? They're going to end up getting, I think, the third pick, right? Yeah. So they're going to end up getting one of the big dudes, I would say. Now, maybe they surprise you and go for, like, a guard or something, like a Jay and Ivy put next to Jalen Green. But, yeah, Christian Wood, good opportunity to trade him away. He came to the team originally to contend with James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and obviously that didn't work out. But, yeah, get something pretty solid back for him. Myles turn around the Pacers. Oh, man. I think I'll keep him around. At least one more season, man. I don't know why. They don't have to do that. This one I'm honestly indifferent about. Indifferent about him, to be honest, man. Like, just how it is. Terance Mann for the Clippers. I would keep him. I think he just signed an extension recently, if I believe, so they're obviously interested with him on the squad. He's a guy that can play his role off the bench fairly nicely, bring some scoring, or if a guy like Kawhi or Paul George is out for a few games, can start too, man. I think that's really valuable to have those guys that know their role and is always prepared for any situation. We got the 2027 first round pick with the Lakers. I would trade it, but only if THT is included, because that is just a package worth exploring. We got, keep this man, Desmond Bane. I love Desmond Bane. Keep this man. Keep him. He's a huge reason this team won, 18 games when John Morant was out. You keep Desmond Bane. You don't think twice about it. Tyler here for the Heat, keep him. The Heat, once again, don't know what the results for Game 7 are yet, but the Heat are a roster that have some older players on it. Also some younger players. The younger players include guys like Tyler Herro and Bam Adebayo. I'm sorry, but that is such a foundation for a future. And it's eventually, those guys will become the veterans and they bring in some younger players or draft certain guys. I think Tyler Herro has a huge spot this Miami Heat franchise, man, and I would keep him at all cost. We got Brook Lopez for the Milwaukee Bucks. I would be cool with them trading him away, to be honest. Like, Brook Lopez is fine. But he's going to be another year older, and I think it would be okay finding something different at that position. I think you look for the same type of player yet again. Have that be Myles Turner. Maybe you go for a little smaller ball with like a PJ Washington or something like that. But yeah, those big dudes that can block some shots and knock down, an open shot too, very important next to Giannis. Not saying they have to trade Brook Lopez to get that type of guy, but maybe not count on Brook Lopez to be the full-time starter anymore. But I don't know, man. The Bucks are better with them, so D'Lo for the T-Wolves. I think I would be... Yes. Trade D'Lo away. And the reason I say that is because I'm so heavy into Cat and Anthony Edwards as the 1-2 punch. I like what Patrick Beverley's doing, even if it's going to be a short-term type of thing. Put him at point guard. Trade D'Lo for, a jack-of-all-trades type of small forward. Maybe even a power forward too. I really like Jared Vanderbilt. I think I'm leaning towards trade D'Lo, but I feel so bad about that because this man needs to find a home. But also I don't know. T-Wolf fan, how do you guys feel about it? Because obviously in the playoffs he had some not really good moments. So how do you guys feel about that, man? Is he the right guy next to Ant-Man on that team? Next up we got the Pelicans with the 8th pick. I think I would keep. I think I would keep it. I would keep it. You can get you can get a bucket for that bench, and we don't know Zion's future with the squad. Or maybe you lean towards trying to get a guard and find your future CJ McCollum replacement, something like that. I think I would keep the pick. For the the Knicks, RJ Barrett, one of the most underrated players in the NBA. Man, look at his eyes. He is shocked he's even listed here. Yeah, this man is literally one of the most underrated players in the NBA. His trajectory is all-star caliber. You keep him and you build around him. And yeah, it might be their best trade chip because he's the best player on the team. But I'm trading Julius Randle every single time for this man. We got Kendrick Williams for the OKC Thunder. Solid 3-and-D type of dude. Trade him, keep it, don't really matter. Honestly, you don't. Like, keep him around. Why not? He's cool. Terrence Ross, trade him away. This man could really help out a contender right now. I feel like his talents are being wasted on a rebuilding Magic squad. Nothing against them. Like, that's just where they're at in their franchise. They have a lot of guards already on the team. Might draft another. Who really knows? Probably not, though. But, yeah, Terrence Ross, get something back for him. Tyrese Maxey, keep. This man, you know, obviously we draw you know, to expect out of him, but this man made the transition of Ben Simmons and his drama so much more manageable than what it could have been. Like, that could have blown up in their face so hard, and Tyrese Maxey balled the hell out, man. I stand by it. This is Iverson 2.0, man. Iverson 2.0 in Philly. Deandre Ayton, I would say keep, but at the right price. If a team wants to go out there and toss this man a super max, or a max contract, I guess it would be, that's on them. I would not match that, though, if you're the Phoenix Suns. Like, there's other options out there. There's a lot of good centers. You can go out and get a Nurkic. You can go out and get Myles Turner, man. You can go out and maybe get a Brook Lopez for a season. Who really knows? But DeAndre Ayton, I'm not saying like that to disrespect. He's a fantastic center. It's just something about that max money to those guys that you can't always play at every most important part of the games. Something to be said about that. Something to be said about that. Trailblazers, number 7 pick. Trade it to the Detroit Pistons for Jerami Grant and Kelly Olynyk. We'll also take back Nazir Little, by the way. Kings with the number 4 pick. Keep it. Keep it. You can get a really nice player next to De'Aaron Fox. It's a bonus. But at the same time, I do understand if they wanted to trade it because they are kind of like going like all into, well, essentially trading away Tyrese Halliburton was because like they're looking to like win now. So it would make sense to trade the pick away, I guess. But I think they should draft somebody, and I think they should go best available, man. I really do. Keldon Johnson for the Spurs. Keep him. I think he still has a future as a borderline all-star and a really good scoring player. And I just think he has that athleticism and that, you know, agility to him that the Spurs really need to like start leaning into. So I would keep him. OG. I did not know where his hand was at first. With OG, see, this one's interesting, man. Because there is kind of a dilemma with the squad where you have Fred VanVleet. You have Gary Trent. You have OG. You have Pascal. You have Scotty. You have 5 really solid players there, all guys that I don't think should start. Now, I don't think any of those guys, with the exception of Pascal at times, playing center. Like, I don't know if I love Pascal as center. But I guess if they just run it back with that starting 5, or maybe you decide to use Gary Trent off the bench, but I don't think I would trade OG, though, man. Unless the offer was, like, blown away, that type of thing. Like, maybe, like, sign and trade DeAndre Ayton for OG. Maybe something like that you could get behind. Royce O'Neal for the Utah Jazz. Solid defensive player. Knows his role in the Jazz. I would keep him around. You know, it's good to have guys that know the system and have that, I don't know, just that safety factor. Like, you know what you're going to get out of Royce O'Neal if you're the management of the Utah Jazz. And then finally, we have Denny Avila of the Washington Wizards. I think a big part of this is based off of who they draft, although I do think they definitely need to draft a point guard. But Denny, I think, is also another very underrated player. He's actually really solid defensively. I think he really has another gear as a playmaker for the team, and maybe that's something they lean into a little bit next season. But I think I would keep him around, too. I might actually look to trade Rui Hachimura. Nothing against him, but, you know, you got Denny at the small 4, Kuzma at the 4. I feel like Rui might be the odd man out there. What do you guys all think, man? Let me know in the comment section below. That's all we got for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.